Hello everyone, today I have these two really old JELL-O products. Discontinued celery flavor. Celery flavor came out in the early 1960s and was discontinued in the mid-70s when JELL-O's popularity started to decline. People used to use this for all kinds of things. They used to make it into nice fancy molds, make all kinds of desserts with it, preserve meat, vegetables, and fruit with it, as you can see in the picture here. Both of these boxes are exactly the same, and I will be attempting to make one of them today to see how they perform after all these years. This box here you can see is faded a little more. That's why the tint is off in the picture. The box to the left is in better condition, but the box to the right has the really old price tag, which is kind of amazing of how cheap it was. You see, you got 3 boxes for 29 cents, and it says prices marked 2 cents off regular price. So let's take a look at both of these boxes here. This box here, look at the front of it. Okay, turn around the back. Here are your instructions. Directions: add 1 cup boiling water to contents of package, stir to dissolve completely, add 2 teaspoons vinegar and half a tray, 7 to 10 ice cubes. Stir consistently until thick, about 3 minutes. Remove any unmelted ice. Fold into 1 to 2 cups ingredients, salt if desired. Chill in molds until form. Unmold. And that is one thing I did notice about this. Back then, they're telling me to add ice cubes to cool it down. On the newer containers, it asks you to add a cup of cold water after you mix it in. And those are basically the same thing. Back then they wanted you to do it with ice cubes, but if you add 1 cup of cold water and put it in the refrigerator, you'll have the same result. Because the boiling water melts the gelatin, then when you freeze it, it's able to harden in the liquid. Suggested servings. Now take a look at the ingredients. Back then there were no nutrition facts. That didn't start until around 1990. Also, back then they didn't have to tell you how much of each ingredient. Here's the side. Other side with the date. Okay, so this box is in kind of good condition, so put that off to the side. Here's the other box. Get a quick look over on this. It's exactly the same. This is the one I'm going to be opening today because there's a little bit of, like, I'd say damage from over the years. You see this? That's actually what destroys gelatin. If gelatin gets damp, there's a good chance it's not going to work because it causes it to rot. I've done this with JELL-O products from the 50s. They like half make, like it won't firm as much as it's supposed to, but we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna go ahead and start opening this thing up. If you're noticing that there, I put a little bit of hot glue there to make sure the box was closed for the video. But this here is actually, it was sealed this much, this little bit. I didn't hot glue that part. But this is the original contents inside here. Let's take a look at that. Years ago it used to come in a wax bag. These days it's not a wax bag. Can I smell anything through that? It smells really sugary. So this is what it says: for tempting meat, fish, or poultry salads. Yeah, you see it's telling you to put meat into the JELL-O. You don't have to do that. You can eat it just plain. Okay, so I'm going to start opening this up. Let me start boiling up some water. Okay, I have my boiling water, so I'm going to start this. Put the boxes off to the side. Get my bowl. Now here's this. I've realized that you can actually see through this package if you put it up to a light. And it actually looks pretty good because it doesn't look like any water got to it, so that's actually a really good sign when you're working with old Jell-O. Okay, there we go. Take a look at the powder inside the pack. That is what you want to see. It's a little bit clumped together, but at least it's not in one solid block. I've opened Jell-O at times. When you open this up, it's all black and stuck together. The black is expired gelatin. That's what happens to it. It turns black and it won't work. But this looks really good. It actually smells like celery. I have really high hopes for this to work now. Usually this stuff, after that many years, it would be discolored and all that. But this looks pretty good. Okay, so let's get 1 cup of boiling water. Okay. That is fantastic. It's actually green. A lot of times old Jell-Os will be a little bit discolored. I'm gonna get my spoon out. Give this a good mix until it's completely dissolved. Okay, so how that's looking there, I'm thinking it's a little bit darker than it's supposed to be, although I haven't diluted it yet with the second cup. It smells completely normal. Yeah, you can really smell that celery. Very, very good sign. There's no grit or anything left behind. So now I'm going to get my cold water and mix it on in with it. Okay, 1 cup of this cold water. Give that a quick stir. Okay, that's a good sign. It lightened up just a bit. I don't think the Jell-O is actually supposed to be green, because if you look at the 2 packages, one of them is showing like a yellow, the other one's a little bit brown. I'm pretty sure this one is the one that didn't fade, so I think it's supposed to be a yellowish. How does it smell now? Okay, still pretty good. This is going to go in the refrigerator now overnight so it can harden. The refrigerator is set at 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll see what happens. That can sit there now overnight. Okay, after spending the night in the refrigerator, not so bad. It looks pretty good. As you can see, it hardened like half of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a lot firmer than what you're seeing. Like if I was to make this into a mold, like in the picture on the box, it just would not have happened, because this is not hardened enough. That's what happens. As gelatin ages, it won't harden as much. But this, I'm assuming, is going to taste just like celery. It smells really great. It smells just like celery. Before I try this, I want you to see what happened to another identical box that I tried making. So today I am absolutely amazed that it actually came out looking somewhat normal, because this is footage from 1 week ago. It came out of the pack all stuck together, looking like a brownie. It didn't smell bad, but it turned brown because all the gelatin just expired, and as you can see, it is all stuck together. but I'm about to pour some water on it, and it does dissolve once the hot water hits it, but it becomes brown, and then when I stir it in, the water becomes dark black, like you know something is wrong with this stuff. I even followed one of their recipes and added some chopped vegetables because I was actually going to follow this. And then later on, I poured it into a tray. It still looked disgusting as ever. It did not harden at all in the fridge, even after hours and hours. Ultimately, at the end, I did give it a quick taste test through a straw, but it was just absolute garbage, and I dumped it out. It tastes awesome. It tastes perfect. Other than it not hardening, it tastes absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with it at all.